Hi, folks. We'll get started in just a minute. Okay, it's 2 o'clock. We'll get started. Video. Okay. We'll get started, in the interest of time, and really appreciate everyone's time today. My name is David Milano. I'm the CEO of Realtek here in North America. Today, we're going to talk about how to manage your SAP application delivery changes from your JIRA application or from really any other application, ServiceNow or any SAP change management solution you have in your environment, our solution can integrate with. So again, I'm David Milano. I'm the CEO of Realtek US. The parent company is Realtek AG over in Leimen, Germany. In 2000, we've been around since 1994, but in 2017, there was a management buyout here that I purchased Realtek here in the US and have been a partner, channel reseller of their software solutions here in North America. So who is Realtek, right? So we have our SmartChange solution, transport management, synchronization management, change process management, and interface management, really focused on helping clients around that SAP change management area. We just finished an S4 migration. So here in the US, we have 2 sides of the house. We have the software side, and then we also have the consulting side where we help clients specifically focus in the basis area, right? Managed services for basis, solution manager, technical upgrades, again, S4HANA migrations, Suite on HANA migrations, either on-premise or on the cloud. So really, Realtek is a SAP technology-focused company specifically in the basis area. If you asked us to do something on the functional side, we have some great partners that we use. But as far as any of the basis work or staff augmentation to your basis team or helping you do technical upgrades or basis work, that is our niche for over 25 years. So I'm going to get right to it. So basically, what we're going to talk about today is the problem that we solve with our solution, which is SmartChange, and the integration. And at the end of the demo, I will show, or at the end of the slides, I'm going to show a demo of how you can create SAP changes within JIRA, also basically release them, and then inside of our SmartChange tool, the automation happens, right? It imports the transport, it sends the information back up to JIRA, and you actually can do everything within your JIRA application instead of logging into SAP. So today's challenge really is they're two separate applications, right? So you have your JIRA, your ServiceNow, or maybe you're using HP Service Desk or some other solution to manage your changes. But on the SAP side, you still have to log in, create your transports, and move those transports, through your quality and your production environment. And maybe you're managing all this via some spreadsheets or some emails. There is no link between the two. Well, that changes, right? So with our integration, we have an integrated framework that comes within our SmartChange solution where you can not customize, but configure the connection to your JIRA, your ServiceNow, your other change management platform, and really make it one application that does both, right? Does other non-SAP changes, but also does SAP changes, just from the top level application. So what I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit about SmartChange, what it is, how it works. It's been around since 1994. We have flexible automated workflows and processes. It's an SAP bolt-on inside of SAP. So you put it in with some transports, configure some RFCs and a user, and you're up and running within your environment, right? It's not weeks or months of configuration or customization to try to get a SAP change management tool to work. We are certified for SAP S/4HANA by SAP. Realtek started in Germany right around the block from SAP in 1994. And this software came from our consultants going on site, and there was a need or a gap in the market where people were managing all their SAP changes via spreadsheets and emails and just a lot of manual work, right? Sending emails to Basis for them to import it into the system. Basis then coming back to them, they missed something, they didn't release it. So our tool really evolved from a gap in the SAP world where you were managing all this manually, right? And then it evolved into integrations into other applications, mobile apps, to approve your changes, things like that. So we'll talk a little bit about that in detail a little later. But we support transport of copies. We have integration framework. We have quality assurance built in. What that means is you have proactive technical checks for dependencies, for critical objects, for collisions. Really, we proactively ensure that you don't have to redo work inside of your SAP QA or production environment, right? So everything is tracked and logged in one controller system. It could be a dev system, it could be solution manager, it doesn't matter. But basically we have a controller system, and then we have RFCs and a user in all the other systems that when you release a transport, it goes into our controller, and then you're able to work it, approve it into quality. Then the work gets approved to be imported into production, and then moves down to the production level and follows the workflow. And I'll talk a little bit about our architecture of the workflows in a couple slides. But basically, the advantages of at a glance is, time. We save time, and you reduce costs, and you reduce risk. You're more efficient. Your systems are more safe because of our quality checks. And then you have top-down transparency and traceability and visibility into your systems and all the changes that move through your environment. So this is our tool that sits inside of SAP, and it's called SmartChange. There's transport management. That's what we're focused on today, right? So talked a little bit, it has automatic workflows that are generated based on what we call projects and destinations. We have the quality checks or integrated quality checks, and then the import scheduler, right? So you can automate your imports. You have emergency transports. You can schedule an import outside your normal window called special jobs, right? So within our solution, we like to say we're really proactive with the AAA approach, the automation, auditing, and approvals all in one tool, right? So SmartChange, again, and I'm going to go into the JIRA side of it, but SmartChange, basically return code forecasting. You can proactively check return codes before they go into the system to ensure that it has all the dependencies within the other transports that it needs. Packages, you can bundle transports. Let's say you have a Asia Pacific or Latin America project, and you want to bundle those transports. You're able to do that within our solution. Cross-system object locking, dependency options, so you can create dependencies between transports. Attributes, where you can create text or links to outside applications, or even attach your testing documentation right within our tool. Repeating imports, and then tracking information down to the object level. So we get very granular with our reporting. You have ad hoc reports, so you can just create reports with a one button that gives you all the information for your auditor within a minute or so. So proposals is where you can schedule a time outside your normal window. Sorry, here. Okay, our architecture, how it works. So we have transport levels, destinations, and projects. Transport levels to us are how we group the systems. Destinations are analogous to the transport routes in your STMS routes. And then projects, I like to say they're just classifications of transports, right? So you can have an HR project that has one approval in the quality and two approval in the production, or you can have a finance project that has two approvals in the quality and two approvals in the production. So freely nameable projects to adapt to your process today, but also flexible enough that you can have one project with multiple approvals and one with even more approvals, right? So our tool really supports n number of approvals going into quality and going into production. So I've seen one customer had 5 approvals in the production. It's a little much, but they were really strict from their auditing, and tax compliance, and that's what they wanted, and that's what we built. So out of the box workflow, you can release from development, have it automatically imported into quality, and have an approval in production, and all the emails are automated to the appropriate people at the right time, and then it gets automatically imported into production, and a validation email can be sent to somebody letting them know that, hey, we want to, you want to go validate it's in production, it's good to go, and you want to close the change request. You can do all that in JIRA. This is a second example of just, maybe you needed an automatic import into quality, but you wanted a couple approvals into production. Very flexible for us to handle that. And it's drag and drop, not actually, customization to have this done. It's a bolt-on inside of SAP. So once you put the transports in, you get all our tables, all our libraries, and you're able to just go in and configure that. And then see a very quick return on investment with our solution. Reporting, talked a little bit about it, but we have an integrated reporting framework, IQ library. We can do ad hoc reports, or you can have some predefined reports. Maybe you want to see the top 10 modified objects. You want to create your own reports. It's all possible because we keep track of everything from creation of a request all the way through into production. And everything's tracked and logged inside of our tool. A little bit about the integrations. So basically today we have integrations with Solution Manager, the ITSM part of it, JIRA, and also ServiceNow. If you had something outside of this that you wanted to integrate with, we could just have a one-off discussion, and I'm sure our development team in Germany could get this to work for you. But today, these are our 3 integrations that we have. This is just an example of the ITSM integration, where when you create a transport in SAP, you would get a pop-up, and you would assign your change request or your ITSM request to that transport. the incident to that transport, and then it would carry all the way through into quality and into production, right? So this is the example of the solution manager integration. Here, this is you need some business partners set up, or the business partner function. But here you can see this is the user that set it up, and we're looking at a certain keyword, the zmin, and pulling up those requests that are responsible, that he's responsible for, that he can associate the transport to. This is the ServiceNow. Today, ServiceNow is about 90% complete. So you're able to go into ServiceNow. You'd have a certain section within ServiceNow for your transports, who created them, the release date, short description. And then on this side is where you would see, you could tell this one has already been imported into quality. It's got a green status. So it was integrated into our solution. This transport was released, they got imported into quality, but it's not yet imported into production. This one went into quality, maybe it got re-imported again. And then this third one, you know, it had a quality system, a sandbox, or a pre-prod, and then a production system, and it's still waiting to be imported production. But you could see that you'd have a certain section within ServiceNow that called transport request, and that is where all the information will be stored for your SAP side. Do I have anything? Okay, I'll show the JIRA side, but you know, the quality checks are all integrated, and you would see this in your change management solution. So you would see, you know, any critical object checking or special aspects or collision. You would see that right in. This is a picture of JIRA. You would see that right in the JIRA application or ServiceNow or whatever change management you're using. This I'll show you. This is our SmartChange approval, where it's just a mobile app, and you're able to go in and make approvals with the mobile app inside of web browser. Fiori, we're able to have a tile for Fiori for SmartChange approvals, where you're able to go in and you know, this basically ties into our mobile application, where you're able to go in and create a tile that'll link back and make approvals within Fiori. And with that, I'm going to jump right into our demonstration. And I will log into, here it is. Okay, let me get rid of this thing. It's annoying me. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here I am. I'm logged into my JIRA system in Germany, and I have my own change request. And within that change request, demo, it's tracked, everything's tracked and logged. There's a SmartChange history in here. Let me go back. Okay, so this is essentially the you know, you log into JIRA and you see your change request. There would be a certain section underneath that change request for SmartChange, and then you can go into SmartChange and you can see all your transports that are already out there. You can see some of them. This one has been imported already into production and quality, and you can see the return code, the date and time it happened. You're able to go in and see who made the approvals inside of JIRA, and then if you wanted to find out more information about that transport, you can go in and really dig deeper on top of the SID and the transport number. But some of them you can see are this one was imported into quality, but not yet into production. I need Alexander made approvals into this one already. This one is waiting to be approved. So let's go ahead and just create one. Right? So right now I'm not logged into my SAP system. So what I will do is log in there. And this just has a OData service connection to your SAP system. And then when I want to create a request, it'll ask me, you can have multiple development systems attached to your JIRA from the SAP side. And you're able to go in and say, all right, let me create a transport for this demo 55, right? So right now it's connected to SAP. It's created 500. And now the developer is able to go in on the SAP side and do their developments, right? Oops, sec. Okay, so if I go into SEO 9, so you were able to create the request on the JIRA side, but you still have to go in and release that request from the SAP side, right? So here I am. I have my attributes that have my ticket number and my JIRA demo 55. It's already assigned, and that'll get carried into the SmartChange solution. So let's say all my development is ready to go, and I'm ready to release this request, right? So I did my development, I'm a developer, and now it's time to release, right? Once I release that request, the body would pop up, and here is where we have certain projects and destinations that we created. And again, they're classifications or types of changes that you want. So in our example, we have a basis project, and then this is the clients that we're releasing from. So we're going to release it into this external demo, actually default 100 project. You see there's transport of copies. We support that. But then as a developer, all you really need to do is release it. It says, are you sure you want to release? Yes. And that's it. As a developer, that's really all you need to do. You create the transport in JIRA and then go into our tool and release it from here. But then everything else is automated, right? So if I go back to here and I want to just refresh JIRA, I think I can just refresh the change request. But basically, once I go in, you'll see that is now released, right? And it's waiting. It got approved to go into quality, and now it's just waiting for a job to be imported into quality. So on the SAP side, you don't have to do this, but I'll show you. We'll go to our solution. We have our own transaction, and this is the main screen. So if you're waiting for approvals, you go into here, monitor, you see all transports, and then history is where they go after they go into quality and the production. But once inside of our tool, if I go inside the tool, I will see the transport. Come on. Okay, there it is. So here is the transport that I released. It's inside of our dashboard or our workflow, and it's just waiting for a job to run to actually import it into the system. All right, so let's make sure we have a scheduler. Inside that scheduler is where the jobs run. Oops, hold on a second. Back. Make sure it's working for the website of it. But basically, the job would pick it up, import it into the system, and report everything back up to the JIRA side. So let's go back. Just refresh over here. I'm not a JIRA expert, but I refresh this way. So let's go in. Okay, it actually is waiting to be input. So let's see here. What I can do, I'm not sure if Germany canceled the job on me, but I can go in and actually push it in manually. There would be an automated job that gets set up, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead and push it into the system. So at any time, you could go into a system and import it right into the system. So here, this is what we call the system queue. I have this transport queued up, 500 to go in there, and then I just push the truck and it actually imports it into the system. I think it's, the job was stopped on the back end, right? So now it's being imported. Wait a second. Okay, all right. Now an email's been sent, information about new imports. So we automatically send an email after it's been imported into the system that the next step, your next step is, your action is needed on the next step, which is to either approve or actually approve in the system. So if I go back to here, there it is. So it got imported into the system, and you can see all that information right inside of JIRA, right? So I can see it just got imported, or I imported it myself. Obviously, this is German time, right? But went into quality, client 100. So everything can be really managed from inside of JIRA, right? The next step would be for production. So there's a job that automatically moves the transport from here down to this next production level, where it's actually waiting for your next production approval, right? So here it got moved down, an email's been sent, but if I go back to the JIRA side, and I say, okay, now I want to approve, the refresh, see? Okay, so now I come back in. So there's 500. It's telling me it's actually waiting to be approved content, which is our first approval, and technical is our second approval inside the tool. So if I go ahead and just make that approval, it connects to SAP. It checks all the conditions, the dependencies, the critical objects, special aspects, if I need anything. And then it should come back and say, okay, everything's good. It's approving now inside of SAP. And it marked me as the approver, right? So now it would send an email. Obviously, you have segregation of duties. So you're able to, separate who does content, who does technical for auditing purposes. So you don't have the same person. But in this case, I'm in a demo, right? So I'm going to do both. And I'm going to go ahead and make that approval again into production on the technical side. Inside of JIRA, it connects to SAP, connects to our solution, and makes that approval. Oops. Okay, and now it made both approvals. If I go back to the tool and just show you, refresh, it should be down here now. Yep. So there's the transport that that we approved. See down here, all my approvals there. If I needed any kind of action log on who did what throughout the tool, I can see it, right? Date and time, everything's tracked and logged. But now, again, it's just waiting for an import job, weekly or bi-weekly, whatever your schedule is, to actually import it into the system. I'm going to go ahead and push it in. But I would generate the queue, go into the system queue, look at my production system, which is PS1. There's 500, and then I hit the truck to push it in. Again, this would be an automated job that's set up. I'm just doing it manually in the interest of time for a demo, but now it's being imported. Okay, we're good. We're good on the SAP side. Let's go back to this side. It automatically refreshed for me, which is great. And you can see here, 500 has now been imported into production. I can go in and see who made the approvals. I can go in and see the return codes and all the information, date and time. So everything can be actually reported from your JIRA application or your top level change management application. can be run. You can run reports about your SAP transports from this side, right? Everything's tracked and logged, right? About my 500, who did what, who made the approvals, all that information. So that's the good part. So everything is done from your top level change management tool connected to SAP, and everything can be reported from that. So basically, the business users could stay in the top level JIRA application while maybe the technical SAP folks are still doing their work inside of SAP, because you still have to create. You can create the transport, a container from the JIRA side, but you still have to do the development work and then release the transport. But then from then on, all approvals can be done inside of JIRA, as well as you can see everything in regards to that transport. So with that, I'm just going to kick back into some more slides to go through the, sorry, one thing I wanted to show. Here is our SmartChange approval application. So you can still go in here and also approve for those JIRA changes, right? Or the ServiceNow changes. If I go into the tool, I'll see all the different types of transports. Let's go into production. Let's say I want to make content approval for one of these requests. It does all the same checks, proactive technical checks. Let's say I want to approve Alex's here. All I have to do is slide it over. It's telling me it's approving it, right? It's doing all my technical checks. And the request has been approved. So basically the Fiori tile would connect to this back end, and you could also approve requests this way through our mobile approvals. So I know a lot of customers out there have SAP Charm, right? We compare, you either use Charm or you use Realtek, right? Realtek has a lot more features compared to Charm. I can send this out after, but also we can integrate with Charm, right? The change request from a Charm, can be integrated inside of Transport. So a solution, and we say it's a solution for many requirements, right? We help all different roles, right? So from development leads, the CIOs, we reduce risk. From basis administrators, we really back out the basis administration team, so they only get involved with changes when there is a problem. The functional side, it's more self-service for them. They're able to create their own transports, manage everything. They don't have to send emails to basis or around, where's my transport, where's my change, when's it going in, things like that. And of course, auditors, right? We're a one-stop shop for auditing, and makes it really seamless and easy for them to go into the tool with a view-only role, where they can run their own reports based on what transports they want to see and get exactly what happened from beginning to end. Some of the customers that use our software, this is 2AG, their challenge was the releasing of transports to changes to SAP systems, because SAP just gets bigger, it never gets smaller. Managing all that was too manual. So they were able to put our solution in and really, solve that whole headache of using emails and spreadsheets, like I mentioned before. Microsoft has been using our solution for many years. They use our change management solution as well as transport and synchronization management. They control all their SAP environments. I think it's about 79. And then we have a medical device company in Chicago, right? They did a Six Sigma where they were able to save 3.2 days of cycle time for each transport, or 2,200 man hours, or basically 112,000 a year by implementing our solution. So, and that was just the SAP side. A lot of those customers, or this customer doesn't have an integration. It's just implementing an SAP change management tool. And then some of our happy customers and referenceable customers are on here. You can speak to any one of them. I'd be happy to broker an intro. They've been using our tool for many years. Once you put our tool in, it's a set it and forget it. It's a static tool. It just runs, right? It does what it's supposed to do. It doesn't break. And it's a really solid solution that's been around the market for 25 years. There is some quick links that you can look. There's a YouTube about the JIRA and SmartChange integration. There's a 2-minute video, and I'll send these slides out to everybody on the call and everybody who registered, so you guys can do your own homework. But here's my information. Be happy to set up a personal demo or talk about the way you're doing SAP changes today and how we can help you. My information is here. And with that, I'd like to open it up. If there's any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat, or I can try to unmute the call, answer some questions. Okay, I'll follow up via email to everybody. I really appreciate your time today. Wanted to give a quick 35-minute introduction and demo to our solution, but I know our software can help you and your company streamline these processes, but also automate what you're doing today to make it a lot easier. So appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And hopefully we can talk again. Be reaching out soon. Thank you and have a great day.